Welcome to the GTP. My name is Scott and we're counting down my top favorite 30 manga slash manhwa of all time. In this video, we're going to be counting down to number 10 all the way through number 1. If you've not had a chance, go ahead and click the eye on the right hand corner and you can check out my videos for number 30 all the way through 21 and then 20 all the way through 11. So few caveats, I said this in my last video, we'll just go over these quickly. First is just because it's a masterpiece, just because I've rated it a 10 does not mean it makes my top 30 of all time. Just because it's phenomenal, I'll say yes, that is a 10. It's beautiful, it's great. Doesn't mean it's one of my favorites. Kind of like there's just some wonderful movies that won Oscars, but doesn't mean it's one that I want to watch on a regular basis or after seeing it once, I'm good. It's not my top 10. That's okay. Next thing is, I want to say is I'm not trying to personally offend anyone, so I do apologize in advance. This is just my opinion. And yes, there's many times that I am wrong. So I do apologize profusely, but hey, if you're like, Scott, what are you thinking? This wasn't in that list. Hey, put it in the comments below. Let me know, Scott, you should read this or you need to reread this. Or hey, suck it up, Scott, you need to read the series even if you're already telling me it's not for you. There are certain series that I've absolutely had to drop because it was just too much for me. If you follow the channel for a while, you'd be aware of some of those. But hey, if you think I should read it anyways, even if I feel sick from it, I will do that if you really push profusely. I do want to keep an open mind. And I do like to understand why this might be someone's favorite of all time. It also could be that maybe I just have not read it yet. We have a lot of manga here. The last little caveat here I want to say is that what I did with this list is I went ahead and I just looked at all the series I had in my room and I started writing down some of my absolute favorites, and then I forced myself to put as best as I can, make that into a top 30, which was very hard to do. So this is just how I feel for this time. It could be next year that this has completely changed. And there's things that were on my memory, a bit fuzzy on what was from number 20 through 10, but I could not tell you what those were exactly from the last couple of years, and I chose not to look those up. So with that said, let's go ahead and count down together number 10 all the way through number 1. Coming in at number 10, this is a story that just has hit me so much, and just reflecting on the past while being in the present and just how things have changed through time so quickly is none other than Frieren Beyond Journey's End. I love this series before the anime came out, even though it's a phenomenal anime. My daughter and son absolutely love this series too. They're 12 and 13. I do caveat, always read the first volume for yourself first. But man, following Frieren's just her journey, it's the idea that 50 years ago, her and her party defeated the Demon King, but she's an elf. And what's 50 years for her is just kind of like a little blip on the radar. But for the people, the humans she's on the journey with, for them, that is a lifetime. And now she's going ahead and she's journeying back to that Demon King palace of just on that journey, just kind of discovering things. And she's realizing how much she kind of just took those 10 years that she had with her traveling companions 50 years ago, almost a little bit for granted. And now she's following along and you get to see things in the past as her memories reflect. They go to one town where the statue is just really bad of the hero, and some people just don't even remember the hero 50 years ago that saved the world from the Demon King. And then you have this thing now where some of the demons that still exist now, some of them want to be with humans. What is that like with this idea of humans and demons coexisting? Is that even possible? She has a lot of prejudice against demons and just seeing the horrific acts where she's not buying it. She's thinking a demon's always a demon. And then now the idea where people are mentoring her, she's now kind of in that mentorship role where she's now mentoring some of these humans that are joining the party around her, helping someone with magic and then helping encouraging someone with an axe, and just really interesting seeing their journey along the way. There's some good battle moments, just really good lore, and just, man, you never know what's going to happen in your future. And you never know the decisions you're making now, how that's going to affect things later on. And there's also moments of just tons of laughter. So I've just tugs on the heartstrings. Beyond Journey's End, a beautiful manga. Highly recommend. Coming in at number 9, I know this is going to be extremely controversial, so I do apologize in advance for this. This is a series that I absolutely love, even though I know as soon as the ending is, most people absolutely hated this series. Now, I'm only caught up through the physical, so because of that, I'm literally on my nightstand as I'm reading the 27, 28, 2, and 1 for it. So the The last one is coming out, I believe, in March, and that is none other than Tokyo Revengers. Just don't immediately down like. I'm sorry. I'm at the edge of my seat. So being through 27 through 28, wow, so good. So I've enjoyed the journey along the way, and you're following the main character who, the love of his life, he fell in love with in junior high. They kind of had not a falling out, but just he kind of drifted off and just never got back to that flame. And then he ends up watching the news where she ends up getting killed. So which he's like, oh man. Well, with that, there's this time traveling element where now he's going back to the past and he's trying to change his future to go ahead and save her. And every single time he goes back to the future from the changes he made from 12 years ago, she keeps dying still, and he's trying to figure out what is going on. And this one, talk about consequences for your actions. What I love about this series is there are major consequences for his actions, and I thought they're doing a good job. Now, I do understand towards, I think, 21 or 22, I understand where they could have wrapped up the series and ended this nice little package, but they end up not. I'm still seeing those consequences for his actions. It's interesting where small changes he's making is affecting big things in the future, and just how that's always going about. And man, his just like me, he cries a lot with the main character, which I can feel for. The artwork is super unique. I absolutely love that with this author. I don't know another author that does artwork quite like this. So that is Tokyo Revengers. I do apologize. I know many people, maybe after 31, I'm going to immediately want to throw them all away, and apologize in advance for this video, but I've loved the journey so far, and I think that's okay. If I got all the way to the end and maybe the ending's not satisfying and horrific, and maybe you find out that, oh gosh, small little tangent here. There is a video game. I will not name its name, but if you know this, you know exactly how I feel. There is a great, I want to say, there's other ones in this series of this Japanese RPG, and then towards the end, you find out that you are a character in an MMO video game and someone is playing you on a computer. Now, that absolutely pissed me off. Could you imagine spending 60, 80 hours in a game? People are dying, people are affected, and then you find out you're just a CPU sprite and none of it matters whatsoever. You're trapped in a video game. You never existed to begin with. You're just literally code, and somebody's playing the MMO. If that happens here, yes, absolutely, I will be pissed too, and I'll be getting rid of this series, but I genuinely don't know. Thank you, no one, for spoiling it. I hope that's not the case, but my number 9, Tokyo Revengers. Coming in at number 8, this is a series that, man, it's been a while since we've had another physical release, but I believe we are getting one this year. They end up doing a deluxe edition for this, but I still thought the hardcovers for 2 and 1 were great anyways, and that is Vinland Saga. This is a Viking series. I do believe this was in my top 10 list the last couple times, but man, this has just gripped me, this series. This is one of those ones that I remember flipping through one of the volumes, I'm like, what? And my jaw just dropped. The artwork is absolutely incredible with this series anyways. You're following this Viking story here, and the twists and turns that they make in this series are just so good, and things you just did not expect. As you're seeing Thorfinn here, you're seeing the consequences of his actions from a kid all the way to an adult, and just him living his life and the decisions that he's making, and just it ends up starting out with this story of just a revenge tale, and then just completely turns itself on its head and just really good. Man, I have just thoroughly enjoyed Vinland Saga. It's one of my favorite all-time series. I'm really looking forward to the next 2 and 1, and I believe the series is just about over, but man, the author has done a beautiful job with this. He has another great series, Planets, which has 2 volumes. Highly recommend checking out Planets as well. That didn't make the top 30, but now I'm thinking about maybe it should have. I really like that, but man, Vinland Saga, phenomenal Viking series. If you're looking for a good medieval fighting series, and it's not really any fancy elements per se. There is a couple things you're like, really? That probably wouldn't happen in real life, kind of like Captain America throwing his, shield. Definitely goes outside the size of physics, but, he's still supposed to be really strong and kind of happening in the real world. So you kind of have some elements like that here and there, but man, Vinland Saga, so good. Is Blue Giant. This made my manga of the year for 2023. We end up not doing one for 2024. I do apologize. But this is a series on jazz. What just hit me the most on this series when I read this series was just the emotional connection to music. So I actually don't know music too much per se, other than listening to music and playing a little bit of the guitar. But man, just seeing music come along this for someone, again, chasing their dreams, that's something I've shared before, it just really hits my heartstrings. And he wants to be the best, saxophone jazz player of all time. And you're seeing him as he chases his dream over and over again, trying to make it work. It has a really good twist in this series, and just following him all along his journey, you just can't help but cheering him on, seeing him from high school all the way to college, and it's just great. Now, there are more in the series. I hope we get I think Giant Supreme, there's a 2 and 3rd that has not been released in English. I'm surprised 7 Seas didn't continue it on yet. I hope they do. But Blue Giant, phenomenal music series. And I didn't know much about jazz music going into it, but this just really hit me, seeing him just continue to push and push and push, chase his dream and not give up whatsoever. Beautiful, beautiful series. Phenomenal. All right, coming in at number 6 is a series, probably one of my favorite slice of life series that has high school antics, but this is a series that just made me want to become a better person. This is a series I wish I had in high school and I read then to better understand how other people think and relate, and that is Skip and Loafer. This is such a phenomenal series. I did a review for this a while ago for it. Didn't do very well, but I did a review for this series if you want to check out my thoughts on it. But following this girl here, she's super smart and has this dream working for the government. So she ends up going from the rural Bunkie area and ends up moving to Tokyo City to go into more of a school that will help her chase wanting to be in the government. And along the way, she meets up with this guy here, and then they end up just having other friends around. It's just such a fun series. Seeing the perspective of some friends, where there's this girl who makes this great artwork, and then she realizes that some of the boys that are talking to her is not because of the artwork, but because of her looks, and she just genuinely wants to be accepted for her art, not for her looks or her as that part of her being a person. You see that with one boy who's completely girl crazy, and then girls are like, oh, well, if it didn't work out with her, am I just second? You're only going after me now because the other girl said no to you. Lots of little things like that throughout. You have one person like, oh, you just assume because I'm popular that I don't have thoughts. One character who's he says things that he knows that everyone's gonna like, even though it's not what he feels inside, because he's just wanting to fit in. So great different thoughts of that. Man, beautiful series. I love Skip and Loafer. Right, coming in at number 5, this is a great series that really hit me, where the whole thing, when it concluded, I just said, wow, absolutely beautiful, and that is Pluto. Mr. Asara here, he's one of my favorite mangas of all time. This series is just phenomenal series. You're dealing with this main character who is an AI robot, and you almost can't tell the difference between the human robots and then just humans in real life. And then this idea of trying to get robots and humans, how do you coexist together? So very good series as you're following the main character who's a detective, where the smartest, most powerful robots of all time are slowly being eliminated, and you're trying to figure out what is going on, and it's his job to go ahead and figure out why. I love his artwork. His artwork is so unique, incredible. His ability to start to craft stories is just phenomenal. And this is only 8 volumes. This is one of the best 8-volume series I actually read. If you just got what is in your top 10 best series that only are less than 10 volumes, this would be number 1. The anime came out on Netflix. I watched the first couple of episodes. I should have continued, but I didn't. But I love this series. It is one of my favorite of all time, Pluto. I highly recommend. You've got to check out Pluto. All right, coming in at number 4, this might be a shocker because this series just came out last year, and I've only read, I think, the first 6 volumes for this, but this series has made me cry so much. It is about chasing your dreams. This made my number 1 of all series that came out last year, and that is none other than The Medalist. I love The Medalist. It's about a girl with a dream of figure skating on ice. I didn't know anything about ice skating, nor did I really care about ice skating, but what I do care is about the characters and what the author has done so good. As she's chasing her dream, as now she's discovered that she wants to be a figure skater and be an Olympic gold medalist. The problem is people are telling her, hey, you're too old. You should have started this 4 years ago. You're not good enough. You don't have the body structure for it. You can't make it. Hey, you have a coach who doesn't have a gold medal, you're not going to make it. And just seeing her chase her dreams, seeing her have a coach that believes in her, cheers her on, and is doing the best he can to help her with her dreams, it's a beautiful story. Her parents aren't at first helping her out. They're like, oh, this is just going to be a fad. You don't really care. You're not going to make it. It's expensive sport. But seeing her on all those challenges, being told she's not going to make it, and then somehow continue to move forward time after time after time, and not every time that she gets number one, which I love as well. There is something powerful and beautiful about that kind of story. It just really tugs on your heartstrings. There's many just really good life lesson moment for it. I haven't done it yet, but I want to do a video on why you should read the medals. This is becoming one of my favorite series of all time. And there's something to be said about a series that we just got a physical release last year, and it's already my number 4. You've got to check out. It's almost for all ages, even though it says 13 plus. Beautiful, beautiful series. You've got to check out the medal. Right, we're now coming in at my top 3. Now, I believe these are all in my top 10 you'll see from previous years. But man, this one series here has some of the best storytelling I've ever read. I'm very good when I read stories being able to predict what's going to happen next. And this one turned it on its head where I was like, oh, I did not see that coming whatsoever. That is another beautiful work by Osara, and that is 20th Century Boys. This is my favorite work by him by a long shot. Now, you will be like, well, Scott, Monster isn't in this list. You rated that a 10 when you did a review for the few that watched it because it was such a terrible video that I had complaints from people messaging me that it was a bad video. I apologize. I'm trying to grow and work on doing reviews. That's why we haven't done as many, because it takes a lot of work, and then you hear people say that it sucks anyway. So I'm like, well, if I suck at it, do I really want to keep making those type of videos? So it's a 10. I would say Monster is a 10. It's a masterpiece. It's a beautiful story. I absolutely loved it, but it doesn't make that top 30 for me. I'm not even sure if I want to fully read it again. There's some things that bothered me a bit with the story itself, but I will say it's a masterpiece on itself. It's a great story. It is a 10. But just because it's a 10 doesn't mean it's going to make that top 30. And I know that's heresy, because I know many people it is in their top 10. But for my mind, Masara's best work and the Kurosawa from what I've read is 20th Century Boys. This year following where these boys as a kid in elementary school, they end up creating like this evil society, the stories are pretending. And then now as high schoolers and adults, that is coming and to happen to real life with the things that they were making up. There's many flashbacks and flash forwards as you're seeing them through elementary and high school and even as adults. And then there's timeline things here on what's going on in the story. And you're at the edge of your seat, like what is going to happen next? And you're seeing all these little puzzle pieces move together in the story, and then they're interconnecting to a chef's kiss of a story. Not for kids, I'll say that. It's definitely older teen plus here. I'd agree with that, but the artwork, the storytelling, it reminds me of Lost back in the day, but better. Phenomenal. This is my favorite work by him, and I love 20th Century Boys. I think everyone, if you're interested in manga, this is one you're going to want to read someday and pick up. It's a beautiful masterpiece. Made my manga of the year 2 years ago. It's still one of my favorite series of all time. Another one on wanting to not get rid of their dreams. And then you find out there's a truth that almost anyone could have this dream, but she's not allowed to tell people. And there's that struggle where other people could have this dream if they wanted, but for some reason, based on the lore that we can't go into spoilers, that is not allowed. That, my friends, is Witch Hat Atelier. Coco here is this girl who dreams and wants to be a witch, but she's not able to, and then something happens very early on where now she's accepted and she's with these other girls as they're practicing to go up in the ranks of being a witch. This has some of the best world building I have seen before in a manga itself. The artwork is absolutely beautiful and fantastic. There's a lot of mystery going on, and we're only at 13 volumes, so it's going to be a while, I'm sure, but man, this is one of the stories that just has all those feels for me. As soon as I read the first volume, I was like, this story is a 10. And as I've continued to read this series over the years, it's only gotten that much better. It's one of the best current series out there of all time. Just following the girls, it's rated, I'd say ages 10 and up can definitely read it. My daughter absolutely loves the series as well. Anytime we get a new volume, she's like, oh, man, Witch Hat Atelier. You're just So much mystery going on. Why can't other people practice magic if it's available? What's these secrets going on behind the scenes? Her mentor has some dark past and secrets that still has not been revealed. Very, very good series, seeing consequences and lores of different governing states, people who hire witches for different things, a group of people who aren't behaving the rule and doing the rules of witches itself, almost like a Harry Potter, but so much better. This is a story that I recommend to so many people. I'm surprised more people aren't reading it. I think when the anime comes out, this is going to shoot off and be one of the best series absolutely available. That is Witch Hat Atelier. Alright, we are at now my #1 series of all time. This is probably not going to be a shock to anyone that's seen my previous videos. This is still my favorite story of all time with over 100 volumes, and it's still peak. This is one of the few series that I am reading digitally as well, and I'm fully caught up to each one that has come out. As soon as we get a new one each on the Sundays that we do, I am just glued in and I absolutely love it. That is none other than One Piece. Now, I know a lot of people love One Piece, or they're not. I know a lot of people are like, man, 100, over 1,000 chapters, that is a lot to get into. And I understand it. Just do it in bite-sized chunk. Get one box set at a time, especially, or, you know, read it on the Viz app if you wish. I end up catching up on the Viz app because we only have 4 box sets. I don't want to get the singles just because I know another box set will come out eventually, but man, following this pirate adventure, chasing their dreams, when it comes to world building, this is the best world building I have ever seen whatsoever in a manga, whatsoever in some, I've read some fantasy novels, and I still think the world building is better in this here. And the characters, there's hundreds of characters. They all have individual names and personalities, and you're seeing now everything interconnected together. I'm just blown away by the series, especially when you get through the Water 7 arc. I'm just, wow. Even emotional in my veins here. There's times I'm just laugh out loud moments in the series, which I love as well. There's things I can even remember going down to even the first, 20 volumes of just things I'm just completely laughing, and it's still good. There's something to be said about series that has not waned. It hasn't gone down, it's only gone up. Now, I do think that this Rosa arc, I'll say a little bit, I did think it went down a little bit, but then when we go to Cake Island, it is just shot like a rocket, and it's only been good. Now with Wano, I will say that's the arc before, then we have the Egg Island, now we have the Elba arc right now. Wano, I'll say it had some high highs and low lows, but overall great. And then I thought Egg Island was really good and it was shorter, which is good. Now we're in Elba, and I'm like, oh, the land of the giants. We've been waiting so long for this. So if you're along for the ride, if you're looking for a very interesting take on a story, a pirate, high seas adventure, chasing your dreams, phenomenal series. Highly recommend checking out. So there you have it. That is my top 30 of all time. Thank you so much. If you've watched especially all 3 videos, I really appreciate it. Again, in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What deserves to be on this list? What should be in my top 30 of all time? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Hey, thank you so much for watching, being part of this community. I'm so grateful for you, and just continuing on what this journey is going to be. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.